Hi, so I wanted to share a video with you guys because um, we just found out last week that our little Shih Tzu May, she has lymphoma, and some signs that you should be aware of is these are the changes I saw in her and which prompted me to get her to the doctors. One, she stopped wanting treats, or she would only take them occasionally. She has never, ever been known to turn down any treat before. So that was one indicator. The other was she would be laying there in a state of complete rest, and then she would just start panting very heavily. Secondly, she was snoring. She started snoring very, very loud at night or anytime she was sleeping. Like she literally sounded like she was sawing logs with a busted up chainsaw. It was that loud. Like it kept me up all night. So, and then her stool, there was a change in her stool. Normally she has normal, firm stool, but then I noticed her stool started like, with the first part of it that would come out would be firm like normal, and then the second part would be really soft, if not almost diarrhea like, not runny, but just really, really soft, near close to diarrhea. So, and then she threw up twice um, that that week, and so um, I was petting her um, the other day, and I noticed a lump underneath her neck. And I thought, huh, that's strange. I never felt that before. And I always do that. A lot of times I'll bathe her myself just so that I'm aware of what's going on with her body. And, oh, and she would be shivering. She was like shivering for no apparent reason. But I could tell that she was hot because she felt warm, and then she would constantly jump out of her bed at night and lay on the cold porcelain floor. So I thought, that's weird. She's shivering, but she's hot. So after the first day of feeling a lump, I noticed another lump the next day. And then the following day, I noticed. Um, so I called the doctors that day. I said, told them what's going on, got her in right within a day of that call, took her in for testing, based on what the doctor felt and her age and all the signs I was telling him I was seeing. He suggested it's possible it could be lymphoma. So anyway, sure enough, the next we ran a battery of tests. Like we did X-rays. He just ran a bunch of like her full blood work, and her numbers came back. Her white blood cell count came back 50 times higher than normal. And at that time, we did not have confirmation of lymphoma yet, but he told me based on the blood work that came back, it was not encouraging, because he said even in severe positive lymphoma um, pets, their white cell count is not that high. He said in, you know, all the years he's been doing this, she has the highest count he's ever seen. So he said he suspects it's possibly lymphoma and leukemia. So cancer of the lymph nodes as well as cancer of the blood. So next day we get a confirmation it is in fact lymphoma, large cell lymphoma, but there's different types of lymphoma also. There's T cell and B cell. So just for memorization through association, T cell is for terrible, B is for bad. Bad meaning, you know, yeah, your dog has cancer, but maybe you have a better chance of extending their life or saving them. So, but in order to confirm which kind it is, you have to send out the blood for a test called a PAR test. That's PARR. And luckily, the pathologist who did her initial blood test and confirmed that she has lymphoma still has the slides. So they can use the same slides to send those out to some university somewhere out of state to give us, let us know specifically if it's T cell or B cell. And I was shocked by the price too. It's $1,200 to run this test. And I mean, I was just flabbergasted. But luckily, our vet's office was very kind to help us out a little bit on their end on the test, since they don't do it in-house. So they charged us $900 for the test. It's still very high, but I feel it's important for us to find out what type of lymphoma she has, so we know how aggressive we need to be with it. So meanwhile, they refer me over to an oncologist. I contact that group. They tell me they can't see her until November. So that's 2 months from now. And I said, 2 months is too long. You know, with lymphoma, from what the doctor said and all the research I've done, from the time they're diagnosed, they literally have about 4 to 8 weeks to live, because it's that aggressive. I guess it shuts down all their organs and everything. So, you know, I started calling other places, and the soonest anyone else could get me in was 2 weeks or later. And then I finally found a place called Rise Pet Health, I believe is what it's called. So it's RISE in Laguna Hills. And they were extremely helpful and super like on the ball about going to talk with the oncology group. I forwarded them May's records right away. They got us the first appointment. So like I spoke with them last Wednesday, I believe, and they got us an appointment for this coming Monday. So they understand the urgency. So I really appreciate that. And so, but meanwhile, I didn't want to let this lymphoma keep growing, because it literally, by the time we got confirmation she had lymphoma, I felt underneath her neck again, and there was now 3 nodules. Before I only felt 1 on each side. Now I'm feeling 3, and they were huge. And the next day they got even bigger. And so I recalled last year I saw a video of a gentleman who had cancer that started in the lungs. It had metastasized throughout his entire body, to his pancreas, to his blood, to his bones, to all his organs, basically. He was told by the doctors, you have, I think, weeks to live. Go home, get your affairs in order, say your goodbyes. Somehow a veterinarian got in contact with him, and I guess suggested that he try a dog dewormer called fenbendazole. And so obviously with, you know, death knocking on his door, he had nothing to lose, so he tried it. He did this for 3 months straight. He went back to the doctors, and they could not find any cancer left in his body. So ever since I saw that video, I ordered some and kept it on hand in case, you know, anyone in my family should, you know, be struck with cancer, or, you know, one of our dogs. And so thank goodness I already had this stuff. And so I figured I had nothing to lose. And I'll show you what it looks like. It's Panicure C, fenbendazole. They have 3 different dosages. So this packet, there's 3 packets in here, and this is the smallest dosage they have. So each packet has 1 gram. So for every 10 pounds of your pet, you want to give them 1 gram. So our May here is 20 pounds, so she's supposed to get 2 grams. The first day I put her on it, I did the recommended amount, which was 2 grams. But then I remembered from my brother's a pharmacist, and I remember when I got sick once, when I was taking something for it, you know, he talked about a loading dose, which is you want to hit it a little bit hard and heavy in the beginning to knock back the virus, and then taper back from there. And so the following day, I decided to give her 3 packs, which is 3 grams. It's supposed to be a dosage for a 30-pound dog. But with, you know, the loading dose in mind, I figured we have nothing to lose. So after I gave her 3 packets of this stuff, or 3 grams, the next day, and I did this twice in a day, and I spaced it out about 10 hours. The next day, I noticed the large nodules had shrunken by like half. And so I've been giving her that ever since, for the last 4 or 5 days. I don't know. Ever since we discovered this lymphoma, all my days run together, and I was just kind of in a wreck, just doing as much research as I can. So I apologize if I get my days mixed up, but yeah. So she's been on this for about 4 or 5 days, and she's also on what is she on? She's on something for pain. She's on gabapentin 100 milligram twice a day. She's also on clavamox 125 milligrams twice a day for the infection, the white blood, the raging white blood cells. And we also found out she's severely anemic, and the doctor says that it's probably the cancer, either robbing her of the iron, or somehow inhibiting her body from being able to absorb iron, or I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, her anemia is so severe that the doctor says that she's at high risk for going into shock or having seizures. And sure enough, the other day she was laying in the office next to me. I hear this scary screeching loud sound from her I'd never heard before. And her body like stiffened up, and her arms were sticking out, and her back was bent back. And I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. I was rubbing her really hard, and I was kind of shaking her, and she finally came to. And so right away I called the doctor's office to see if they could put her on an iron supplement. And so I started her on that. She's taking a liquid iron twice a day. Um, and I don't know if that's helping yet. Her gums are still very pale. The color has not come back to her gums. But I've also been giving her, I read online that raw beef and raw egg yolk and raw beef liver can dramatically help increase her iron. So I found a beef from Trader Joe's. I'm sorry, from Sprouts. This stuff, it's organic and grass fed, and the reason why I wanted to make sure it's grass fed is from everything I've been reading. Lymphoma can be it could be uh, I guess like environmental things like chemicals and stuff. We always make sure we tell our gardener when he treats the grass with anything that it's organic, and it's not harmful to pets. So hopefully that they have never used anything that's poisonous to her out there. Um, and then also I read something about EMF could also um, be a cause of lymphoma. And she did have a bed that was laying right underneath a wall socket, and I have since moved her bed from there, and I'm making sure that she's not sleeping anywhere near any wall sockets, just in case. um, but so the raw beef and the raw egg yolk she really loves. She devours her food. And she figured out that I was dipping her gabapentin and the clavamox inside peanut butter, which was working for the first few days. And so I've had to, like, now I'm wrapping her pills inside of the beef so that she'll eat it, and she eats it no problem. Um, and then I thought I'd just share what we've been feeding her for months now. It's a low phosphorus lamb. It's called My Perfect Pet, and it's supposed to be really high quality, low ingredient dog food. And so she really enjoys eating that. So now I'm combining the beef and egg yolk in there like every other day. So I don't know if I mentioned earlier, one of the other signs that I noticed in our dog that was worrisome to me was she would be shaking constantly. So you want to look out for that. Um, anyhow, after giving her the fenbendazole, the 3 grams, the tumor seems to have shrunk by a lot. So I'm going to keep her on this, and until we get to the oncologist on Monday and see what happens. But anyhow, I wanted to share this with you guys because time is of the essence, especially if your dog has lymphoma. It's highly aggressive. So as soon as you see anything different with your dog, get them into the vet right away. And cats as well, any pets. Fenbendazole, from what I've read, works for cats as well. So, yeah, I just didn't want anybody to like waste any time like I felt like I did. I should have at the first notice of something wrong with her, I should have got to the vet right away. But I just really didn't think there was anything wrong because she still had an appetite. She just wasn't eating her treats as often as she was. But when I would give her feeding, she always ate her food like she normally does. So anyway, I hope this helps. Um, and I don't know if I mentioned the fenbendazole, that it comes in 1 gram packs, it comes in 2 gram packs, and also 4 gram packs. So, if you guys are dealing with the same challenges we're dealing here. Dealing with here. I hope that this helps you guys buy some time. And good luck to you guys. Sending out a prayer to all of you guys who are also faced with cancer in your pets, and may God put His healing hands on your pet and protect them. All right, guys. Good luck. And please share this with everybody you know that has pets, or anybody you know that's dealing with cancer. I mean, even though it is for animals, if I personally had cancer myself, I would try it. I mean, what do you got to lose? So, every life saved is worth sharing this. So, please share this with everybody you know that has pets, just in case they may be faced with the same issues now. And if they're not facing it today, they may tomorrow, the next day, or next year. You never know when you're going to be struck with something like this. So the sooner people know about it and the sooner they're prepared, the better off they are. All right, guys, good luck. Take care.